Can you really lose 45 pounds in just 90 days? Before I answer that, I have a confession to make. Weight loss was really hard for me. Well, it was when I was tracking all my calories, meal prepping, following a strict diet, exercising every day, saying no to my beloved pizza. But then I stumbled across alternate day fasting. And I say stumbled because I have a confession to make. When I started alternate day fasting, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no plan, I had no coach, my pets' heads were falling off. I was kind of just trying things out and finally found something that worked. And what worked for me was eating normally one day and then fasting the next day. And a few years later, I learned that some genius had named it alternate day fasting. Well, yeah, I guess that pretty much sums up what you do. Eat fast, eat fast, eat fast. You get the idea. So back to our original question. Can you really lose 45 pounds in just 90 days?
Yup!
Actually, I did it in just 75 days. But you're probably wondering, how much weight will I lose? Well, not me. You. How much weight will you lose? Well, the people I've coached who have used alternate day fasting, they've lost between 30 to 50 pounds in just 90 days. So you ready to get started? Oh, first you want to know, is it safe? For anyone who has to explain yourself to your spouse or your friends or your coworker Tammy, who always needs to know what everyone else is doing, so she has something to bother you with when you're trying to get work done. That's just a hypothetical. Tammy's not a real person. There's a lot of published research on alternate day fasting, and it's shown time and time again that alternate day fasting leads to greater weight loss than standard calorie restriction. Probably because it creates a calorie deficit without needing to track everything, which makes it much easier to follow. It also rebalances hormones like insulin and gets you into ketosis, where you're burning stored body fat for energy. It promotes autophagy and improves your metabolic health, and it preserves more muscle mass than standard calorie restriction. Plus, research shows that people find alternate day fasting easier to stick with in the long term, which means they're far less likely to regain the weight after they lose it. So yes, it works, it's safe, and it's way easier than everything else I stumbled across before I tried it. Take that, Tammy. She's still not a real person. So now let's talk about the fastest way for you to get started. If you're brand new to fasting, you'll likely want to start with intermittent fasting first, rather than jumping straight into a full day fast. Relax. The good news is that it only has to take you 5 days, because I actually have a free jumpstart into intermittent fasting guide.
Wow! Nice segue.
That will take you through all of these steps in less than a week, even if you've never done any fasting before. But here's your first step. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here. You don't need snacks in between your meals. But doesn't snacking help you to avoid overeating? Snacking actually increases your hunger and your cravings for food. It also increases insulin, the hormone that's primarily responsible for storing body fat. And of course, it increases your daily calories, which leads to weight gain. So step one for starting alternate day fasting for rapid weight loss is to eliminate snacking in between meals. And even if you just get rid of snacks for the next week, you'll probably be surprised with how much weight you'll lose in just 7 days. Get rid of snacks.
Do it. Do it.
After you've eliminated snacks, your next step is to spend more time in ketosis, where you're burning stored body fat for energy. And you do this by making your fasting windows longer. For most people, this means skipping breakfast, though skipping dinner might work better for you. And some research shows that eating earlier in the day can lead to better metabolic health and faster weight loss. I've personally been skipping breakfast for a long time.
It's been 84 years.
Because just like the lie that snacking between meals helps to manage hunger, the common advice that breakfast is the most important meal of the day is also a lie.
Nice segue.
But when you skip breakfast, now you're using 16 and 8 intermittent fasting. And it's these 16-hour fasts that have helped me to maintain my weight loss for a long time.
It's been 84 years.
If you're looking to optimize your 16 and 8 intermittent fasting, be sure to watch this video next. But don't do it now. You haven't finished learning all you need to in this video yet.
It's been 80.
Stay focused. Once you've mastered 16 and 8 intermittent fasting, your next step is to try OMAD, where you're eating just one meal a day. Now, for a lot of people, OMAD can produce some pretty significant weight loss, but you'll likely need to do OMAD more than every other day in order to see consistent progress. Kayla Cox, for example, lost 80 pounds by following OMAD 6 days a week. And you can check her interview out if that sounds like something you want to try. But learning to do OMAD properly is an incredibly useful tool to have in your belt of tools. Because once you begin alternate day fasting, you can fast one day and then do OMAD the following day. Hey, look at you. You just did your first 48-hour fast without even trying. But you don't even need to do a 48-hour fast if you don't want to.
Nice segue.
Because once you're comfortable with the idea of eating just one meal a day, your next step is to go for your first 36-hour fast. So instead of eating just dinner, you're not going to eat any meals for one whole day. And when you wake up the following morning and eat breakfast or lunch or dinner, you can pat yourself on the back because you just did your first alternate day fast. And if you feel amazeballs, you can go right into another fasting day tomorrow. Or if you want, you can wait till later in the week. There's a lot of flexibility here. You can use alternate day fasting nonstop without any breaks, but you don't have to. You could do 2 fasts per week and you're still using alternate day fasting because the main concept still holds. You're eating normally one day and you're fasting the next day. So you're in charge of your own fasting schedule, and how fast you lose weight is completely up to you. And speaking of how fast you lose weight,
Nice.
you do need to be aware of one other crucial thing. Fasting is the main needle mover for weight loss, hands down. But there are a couple of other levers you can pull which will optimize your fasting and your fat loss. So be sure to check this video out next to learn how to really boost your fat loss with fasting.